And welcome back to the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. Why Musetti beating Alcaraz in Hamburg is a great thing for tennis. The Big Four is showing up at Laver Cup. Why that is going to be such an amazing tournament. And Real Madrid lose to Barcelona 1-0 in Las Vegas. Is it cause for concern for Real Madrid? Should Barcelona fans be excited for the next season? All of that on this episode of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. Let's get started. Musetti stuns Alcaraz in Hamburg for his first ATP Tour title. He lets 5 championship points slip by before finally putting it away in the third set and winning his first ATP Tour title. He said it himself. I cannot describe what I am feeling right now. I think I am still dreaming. And man, it really is incredible because Alcaraz, with him getting to the final of Hamburg, goes into the top 5 of the ATP rankings, being the youngest one to do so since Rafa Nadal did it, I believe, in 2005. So you have Alcaraz making history, breaking all these records, getting all the hype. People are talking about him being the next big thing. He's going to be the next Nadal. He's the next Spanish legend. And, a lot of these other youngsters are not getting that same shine. Sinner came a little bit before him and kind of lost a lot of the shine when Alcaraz came by. Musetti's trying to get some of that shine. Nakashima's trying to get some of that shine. All these people, even Felix Auger-Aliassime is trying to get some of that shine. So Alcaraz has definitely taken a lot of the limelight as of late. So it's good for Musetti to be able to beat Alcaraz in a final. I think this is amazing for tennis. It'll be great. It's great that Carlos Alcaraz is showing this level, and it's great that he's pushing this next generation to new heights. And I think it's great for everybody around that age because they're gonna look at Carlos Alcaraz just by hearing Musetti talk about Carlos Alcaraz and how much he motivated him to keep trying, to keep getting better, because they're seeing Alcaraz have this success in the ATP Tour, and they played against each other in juniors at the lower levels. So they know that they have a chance to keep up with Alcaraz. They just got to continue to put in the work. And for Musetti, it all came together today. Even though he did let 5 championship points slip by, he played a very complete game. He was hitting, his forehand good. His backhand looked nice. He was pretty much peppering every shot in the baseline, keeping Alcaraz at bay. And for Alcaraz, definitely not his best performance. If he would have brought his A game, he probably beats Musetti like 8 out of 10 times, I would say. But today he did not bring his A game. But like I said, I think this is good for tennis. You have Sinner taking out Alcaraz in Wimbledon, and I think Sinner's just 1 year older than him too. You have now Musetti beating him in the final of Hamburg. So you have these other people, other players around the same age as Alcaraz keeping up with him. And I think that's amazing because part of the reason the big 3 got so big and so good is because they all pushed each other. First, Federer took, he became the greatest ever. He became the greatest talent that we've seen, the most elegant player. He took the tour by storm, won all these majors and Grand Slams and Masters 1000s, ATP 500s. He was the king. And then Nadal came through and pushed him. They pushed each other. Djokovic got into it, and now all 3 of them pushed each other to these greater heights that we thought were not possible. And a lot of people are scared about what's going to happen once the big 3 retire. Is this next generation going to be able to carry the mantle, keep tennis relevant, bring more fans into it? And I think, if Alcaraz would be the only one that's amazing from that generation, from that age group, then it could get a little dull. It could get a little boring, just seeing the same person win over and over again. And so if you see Musetti, if you see Felix, if you see Sinner, if you see Nakashima, all these people around the other age creeping up the rankings, showing that they could, win titles too, showing that they could be the mainstays in the ATP Tour for years and years to come, then I think that bodes well for the sport. We need rivalries. We need some rivalries for Alcaraz to build up. because the big three, although like they'll have a rivalry for like a couple years, the big three is on their way out. So Alcaraz can't really build a long rivalry with either of them or any of them. Federer is still recovering. Nadal, they've had a couple good matches now, but Nadal is on his way out, especially with all the injuries he keeps getting, and as in good form as Djokovic is in, and as good health, and all of the things he's done to his diet to prolong his career. He is 35 years old, so how long is he gonna play? Till 45 years? If you have Musetti as your rival, you could play against him for the better part of the 10 plus years coming up. So I think this is good for tennis. Congratulations to Musetti for winning his first ATP Tour title. Congratulations to Alcaraz for being the youngest to break into the top 5 since Nadal. And I'm excited to see this next generation, see if they could start making some damage in these Grand Slams. Like, let's see if any of these guys, Musetti, Sinner, Alcaraz, Nakashima, Rouge, like all these guys, if they could, do some damage at the U.S. Open, if they could really get to the semifinals, get to the finals, if they could, start winning some of these major Grand Slams, because the next gen of, Tsitsipas, Medvedev, Zverev, team, like they had their chance, and Thiem won one, Medvedev won one, and the other ones are still trying to get their first one, even Berrettini. So we'll see if this next gen, overlaps the next gen. I have a feeling that they will. I kind of like this batch of players a little more, but what do you guys think? Was it good that Musetti beat Alcaraz? Were you guys rooting for Alcaraz to win? Let me know what you guys think. Mark your calendars for September 23rd through the 25th. The Big Four will be teammates at Laver Cup to take on Team World, representing Team Europe. It's going to be amazing. Murray, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, all teaming up. It's scary hours for Team World. Since 2017, the beginning of the Laver Cup, they have not won one. And I imagine I could put my money on it, put the mortgage on it. I could put, everything on my bank account, my savings account, that Team World is going to win. You got, the 4 mammoths of tennis of this generation. And pretty much you're going to add Medvedev or Tsitsipas or Zverev if he's back from his injury to this Big Four. There's no chance. I know, Taylor Fritz is having a good year. He's having the best year of his career. Diego Schwartzman, he's been consistent for a long, long time. Felix Auger-Aliassime is having one of his better years too. Probably Zverev is gonna be there. He tends to be at the Laver Cup a lot. And there's some good Team World players, but man, you have the Big Four representing Team Europe. There's no chance. Even with Federer coming back from injury, and Nadal probably rumored that he might only play doubles, and Murray, hasn't been like the Murray of the past after his hip injury. You still got Djokovic. You still got the other players that are going to join them. It's like, unfortunately, I think Team World doesn't have a chance. But overall, I think it's still going to be must-watch TV. The Big Four playing as teammates. It's incredible. It's a lot of people kind of shit on the Laver Cup because it's like an exhibition. It's not real tennis per se. It's just for fun, and it's a cash grab. A lot of people hate on it, but I think it's great. I think it's real fun. I think seeing all these the Big Four playing along each other is going to be amazing for tennis, for the sport, to get casuals in, to get attention into tennis. I think it's going to be great. One of the things that I've been seeing though recently regarding this tournament is people, debating the idea of the Big Four and how Murray shouldn't be in it. And I get it. Like, it's kind of hard to call it a Big Four when Nadal has 22, Murray, Djokovic has 21, Federer has 20, and then you have Murray with 3. And then people are like, if you're gonna make it a Big Four, then it should be a Big 5 because Wawrinka won 3 himself. So it's like, why is Stan not considered part of the Big 5? Why is Murray considered part of it? But like, what they don't understand is that they're not saying that Murray is as good as the other 3. They're pretty much just acknowledging that Murray was the one that made it to the end of these tournaments. At the end of these tournaments for most of the years, like the last 10, 12 years. If you were to look at any of the big tournaments, any of the Masters 1000s to Grand Slams, for the most part, you would see these four guys in there: Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, Murray, going at it. Unfortunately for Murray, he was on the losing end of a lot of these encounters. He would make it to the semis, he would make it to the quarters, but along the way, whether it be a final, the Australian Open, he's never won. Wherever it was, I think he's gone to like 5 or 6 Australian Open finals, and he's not won any of them because he's played against Djokovic or Federer for the most part. It would be these four getting to it. And let's not forget, Stan never got to the year-end number one. He was never even the number one at any point of any of these years. Djokovic in 2016 finished as the number one player. Year-end number one. He held number one for a little bit. He won the ATP finals. He did, win Wimbledon twice. He has 2 gold medals from the Olympics. So I think there is a difference between Stan and Andy. If you don't think that difference is big enough to get him into the big four, I could understand that. But to say that it should be a big 5 instead of a big 4, I don't see that. Because Stan, although he did win 3, and he's like 1 Grand Slam from competing the career Grand Slam, he did not dominate the rest of the field as consistently as Murray did. And even though Murray did, I get both sides of the argument, because even though Murray did, for the most part, dominate the rest of the field, he struggled against the big 3 pretty much as hard as everybody else, except he did get the number 1, so he does stand out as, the best player of the bunch. So it's like the big 3, and they're not just the big 3 of the era, they're like the big 3 of tennis of all time. Like, these are the 3 best players of all time. And Murray was able to, not only win slams during that time, but he was also able to end as the year-end number 1. I think that's why people coined the big 4 term. And I agree with it. I have no problem with putting Murray as a big 4, because, like I said, he was running through foos. He was winning tournaments. He was going on long win streaks. I think he had like a 20-plus win streak, won 5 tournaments in a row, won the ATP finals against Djokovic to be the year-end number 1 in 2016. So, Murray was a beast. He's a dog. He's an amazing player. And if it's not for this big 3, I think Murray in any other generation wins at least 7 or 8. And then it's not, really a debate that he's one of the all-time greats. But unfortunately, he got raised in the same generation as these, behemoths of the sport. So it's not fair to him. But I do think it's a big 4, and regardless if it's big 4, big 3, it's going to be great to see them all compete. And I'm definitely going to be tuning in. Will you guys be tuning in? Or are you guys one of those people that think the Laver Cup is just an exhibition, probably tune into something else? And to wrap it up, Barcelona beat Real Madrid 1-0 in Las Vegas. First time ever El Clasico has been played in the U.S. I'm pretty sure that's the first time. I mean, it was a spectacle. Sold out Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Both fan bases brought in a lot of people. Real Madrid, they had a big ass parade coming in on the freeway, taking over, a lot of the stands. Barcelona fans were loud in the stadium too. Unfortunately for us Madristas, Real Madrid fans like myself, Real Madrid did lose 1-0 to Barcelona. And you got to give credit where credit is due. Barcelona is looking stronger than last year. They kind of mortgaged their future, selling their TV rights, selling their part of their TV deals to get out of this debt that they're currently in. And they brought in Rafinha, they brought in Lewandowski, they brought in, Christensen. They brought in a lot of players to help fortify that team. And I think, even as a Real Madrid fan, I could say that their team definitely looks better than it did last year. They look pretty fast. Their pressing was on point. Are they going to be able to press like this for the full season? Champions League, Copa del Rey, La Liga, all that good stuff. Are they going to be able to do it for that long? We'll find out as the league progresses, but they definitely look better. We'll see if we have a competitive La Liga this year. With that being said, Real Madrid was without their talisman, without Mr. Balón de Oro for this upcoming Balón de Oro awards. Benzema did not play. They were giving him a longer vacation. They were giving him a little time to recover. He did not play, and as we all know, Benzema makes that Real Madrid team goes. It's kind of scary and a good thing at the same time. Like, we're still relying on him, and he's getting up there in age, but it's the truth. Like, you could book it. He's going to win the Balón de Oro. So if you don't have your Balón de Oro star player, it's going to show on the field. It's still preseason. Ancelotti was kind of experimenting with the team a lot too, or at least a little bit. So it was not the smoothest display of, soccer by Real Madrid. So a little concerning, but not too concerning. Real Madrid definitely needed a little help at the backup 9. Ancelotti played Hazard as the false 9, and it wasn't the best performance. Hazard is still coming back from injury, still getting back into form. We'll see how he does this season. But a crazy statistic that I just saw is it's been 1,143 days since Hazard signed with Real Madrid, and this is the first Clásico that he's played. And it's just crazy that it's being played in the U.S., in Las Vegas, and that it took him over 1,000 days for him to defend Los Blancos in the Clásico for the first time. So that's crazy. We'll see. Hopefully, hopefully Hazard keeps his promise that he had on that parade for the Champions League, saying that, es próximo año. Like, I think everyone has seen that video where he kind of promises the Real Madrid fans that he's gonna, not be injured this year. Hopefully, he doesn't know that, but he said that he's been injured a lot, but next year he's gonna make it all worth it. He still doesn't look as fit as we would like to, but he has some time to get fit. The concerning thing for Real Madrid was that there were 0 shots on target. They hit the post one time, but overall they didn't look too dangerous. But like I said, it's preseason. I'm not too scared. Benzema is gonna come back. Mr. Balón de Oro is gonna come back, and Hazard hopefully gets into form, and hopefully there's maybe a signing or two to come to help strengthen that front 9 for Real Madrid. But overall, like I said, I'm not too taken aback from this game. I think the energy was electric. I think for the most part, all these friendlies that I've seen in the U.S. have been a success, which is good. It's good to see, soccer, football take center stage. A lot of this summer, there's only baseball on TV, so a lot of these soccer games have been televised. It's been I have heard people talk about them. So it's good to see, the soccer culture in the U.S. start to grow or keep growing as we head into the 2026 World Cup. But overall, it was a iconic day to have the El Clásico in the U.S., in U.S. soil, in Las Vegas, and for, sellout crowd. It looked like everyone was having a good time. Obviously, the rivalry will be a rivalry no matter where it's played. Like, there was definitely altercations. It looked like, players were going to get against each other. Araujo and Rudiger going at it. You could still feel the intensity. So that's kind of what I wanted to see. I like, especially for the people that went. I know my boy Jason went. Shout out to Jason. And, everyone that went pretty much dropped a pretty penny on that game. So it was good to see that the intensity was still there by the players. The rivalry still felt like it was there. Both teams still looked like they hated each other. Unfortunately for us Madristas, we lose 1-0, but I think we'll be all right. We won La Liga, we won Champions League, and we do look like the favorites to win La Liga again. And, if anybody wants to count us out for Champions League, it's at their own, risk. But it is funny to see how the Barcelona Twitter account reacts to these goals. There's a comparison out there that's like the Real Madrid Twitter account reacting to Vinicius scoring in the Champions League, and then the reaction to Barcelona scoring a goal in a friendly against Real Madrid. And like, it's just funny. Like, Barcelona does really think a lot about Real Madrid. Like, they were talking about how last time we played, they beat us like 4-0. But like, since then we've won Champions League and La Liga. So like, and you guys are, struggling to get a team together and pay players. So it is what it is. Congratulations to Barcelona for winning 1-0. I don't want to sound too salty. It is what it is. It's a friendly, and I'm excited to see what Real Madrid does the rest of the season or preseason. I am going to go see them against America on Tuesday, so that's going to be amazing. I'm super pumped for that. But, shout out Barcelona for definitely improving your squad. But that should do it for this episode of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. Thank you as always for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a good one.